What I like about Jesus is that he's practical. He's come down to live in our world in a very practical way. And the stories he tells and the examples that he gives us of how God should enter our life and how we should direct our life are very, very practical. Today, he talks about a simple thing. A patch that's put on to a cloth needs to be shrunken. It isn't any good to get a patch, and if it's not shrunken, because boom, when you wash it again, it's going to shrink, and then it's going to make a tear, and it's going to be even worse. Very good. And then he says another practical thing. He says, you don't take new wine with all of its chemical force and put it into old wineskins, because if you put it into the old wineskins, it's going to burst. Well, I started thinking, well, now, okay, that's fine. That's kind of a good practical way of getting through life. But what is Christ saying even more deeply? And I'm sure there are many implications, but two things came to me from those two examples. One is that sometimes in life, we run into things and situations and people that need to be repaired. If it's an old piece of cloth, then, well, let's get some shrunken patches and put it on there and make that new. But there are some things, just like the wine that needs new wineskins, there are some things that need to be new. And we need to throw out the old in order to come into the new. Now, if you take that example, there are some people in organizations and even in church that need to be repaired. And there are some people that need to move on in order that something new can happen. It happens in your business, it happens in your parish. And Christ is coming to us with that openness of a practical way of living in our life. It's interesting that this gospel that we have today started out with a big thing on fasting, making sure that you fast. Making that decision between putting on patches or starting something new, whether it's people or parts of our organization, needs a great deal of prayer. And I think Christ is calling us to make that prayer mixed in with even some fastings, from turning away from those things we like, to listen to God call us to a new way of repair or taking on the new.